it's so real now. And it's been amazing to watch them just evolve into like almost parents. I need to clear things out. And then we were starting to look, we were even on Facebook Marketplace, but I'm like, no, that's not good enough for our baby P. We're going to get something a little more, I don't know, we're going to style it a little nicer. So I'm very pumped for that. I'm sure I'm going to want to see this baby often, but how often am I realistically going to see the baby? And I don't want to be annoying.
The takeaway point of this episode is that we don't want to be annoying.
That's the takeaway. Hi, Julie. I'm so excited for today because it's going to be our time capsule episode. Really, I know I'm excited about this one. So how are you? Let's have a little
we just saw each other.
Vegas recap. I know.
And we're going to see you in 2 days. So
yes.
And then I'm going to see you again in 3 weeks.
I know. This is so much fun. So I'm going to get a lot of Julie time. We got to get more content in.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the collaborations.
We did good on content.
We did
because
good.
I was making the content for us and collabing you.
Yes.
I feel like the thing we forgot to talk about in last week's episode, because we talked about Vegas, was your experience at the Sphere.
Oh my God. We forgot to talk about that.
We forgot to talk about it.
Wow. We have to talk about that because that was unexpected. I can ride roller coasters like a badass. It doesn't even faze me. I don't like the going up. I just kind of suck it up and I just go.
You like roller coasters, but you don't like going up.
I don't like going up. But the thing is, I don't like going up slow. If I'm with Jonathan, we get on one of those where it shoots you way up and then you go, I'm fine. I don't like the slow. I don't like thinking about how high I am. I get queasy. I don't like it. I'm like, I can ride the craziest roller coaster, but put me on the sky ride and I'm panicking because I don't like dangling and I don't like heights. And that's just what it comes down to. And I don't know why this is. And I'm not going to be the one who's like blaming their mother for everything. But I think when I was younger and I was the first, anytime I did something, I was like, oh, be careful. Oh, and I think your body reacts to that because that's your only known thing. So I think I remember climbing on the monkey bars and it was like, be careful. So I think a little bit of her fear of heights might have transferred. I mean, that's just reality. That's what happens. I'm not going to sit here and blame my mother for my fear of heights. Maybe I would have had a fear of heights anyway. Who knows? But I never realized that I would feel it the way I felt it at that place. That was insane.
First of all, you said, can we go see something at the Dome? That's the first moment of hilarity about the Sphere.
Yeah.
So then we go. We buy tickets, they get canceled. Then we buy tickets again, they don't get delivered. Then we go into the desk.
I thought I was going to get charged 4 times for these tickets. And then Jen Herman's like, call me, I could have comped you. What?
Anyway, we can do a quick debrief. Maybe we'll, not, I don't know, the video. I was going to let's play the video, but it's like not right. My favorite part of the video, my favorite part is that we get to the Sphere and we're going up big ass escalators. We are going up. We are on escalators. They're like this escalator takes a minute and a half to ride.
Yikes. And I didn't even I was like, woohoo, we're going. Yeah. And this is the weird thing too, the warning. She's like, oh, anybody, if you have motion sickness or blah, blah, blah. Nowhere do they mention a fear of heights. Like, how do they leave that out? Because it wasn't just motion sickness and photosensitivity with flashing lights. Like they left out a big heads up. A big heads up. Like if you have a fear of heights, you might be a little nervous. And so I had no idea.
And once we got there and we had to buy tickets, we got tickets that were lower to the ground than originally. So thank God we did that. But
thank God.
Get there and because we have the ticket issue, we get there right as it's starting, which I think helped.
We don't even get the tour.
We don't even get the tour. They're like, you can come early and play with the robot. What robots? Anyway.
No,
I think it was helpful that we actually got there after it started because if we were just sitting there and you could just see everything, you would have been losing your mind. But we're walking in as the concert's starting. It's like a U2 concert movie.
U2 movie.
And we're walking to the seats.
It really felt like a concert.
And I just remember like we're skedaddling through like people and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like you just start panicking behind me as we're walking to the seats. You're like,
I think I grabbed you by the hand.
You grabbed on.
I just felt like so I just didn't think it would be like that much of a vertical. And I don't even think it came through in your video how much of a vertical drop that was. Now I know, let's say I would have leaned forward and fell. I wouldn't have gone more than 1 or 2 rows down. I wouldn't have taken me tumbling to the bottom. I know that. I kept saying that to myself. Even if I fall, I'm only going to go 1 or 2 rows. I'm not going all the way down. This is not cliff diving, but it felt like it. It felt like it. And I couldn't get past it. And of course, for me, I get that feeling in my crotch. Now, I know this is way too much information, but it's like that feeling of like the tingling when you almost like you come close to having a car accident or something, like somebody, you stop short and you like panic. That feeling between my thighs for easily 20 minutes of this thing. I couldn't get past that feeling. I was like, Then I said, let me turn sideways and I'll hold on to you. I don't know why. It was scary and I was not acting. And sometimes I think people maybe think I'm dramatizing it, but I would not. It was terrified.
So fucking funny. It was so funny to witness. And the thing was, like, I was recording. I wasn't doing Helen level like documentary capturing, because you said so many more funny things when I wasn't recording. And then I'm like, oh my God, now I got to record again. And then you'd say something less funny. And I'm like, I can't even remember the things you were saying. I just love the line of, you're like, I paid $300 in the most Jersey. I paid $300 for this experience.
It's $300. I go like that. $300.
My
eyes were tearing. That's how you know
crying.
It was real. I was not making it up. I just couldn't get over it.
Really made the Jersey accent come out.
Yeah, and I just couldn't believe how high we were in this thing. Oh my God.
We left early.
We left early. I don't even want to tell people that, but I was like, let's go. Because first of all, the concert, I'm not a huge U2 fan in the first place. It's fine. I a few of the songs. But then I was like, all right, I'd rather see like Dua Lipa. If I'm going to go to see, I like current. I'm not one of these. One time I went with my girlfriend to see Rick Springfield. It's not my thing. I don't like to go to the throwback concerts. Like, no thanks. I would
love to see Taylor Swift in the Sphere, or like Beyonce. Like, that's the kind of, like, if we're going to do something like that. I'm like, put the Eras tour on. Like, why are we not watching that?
I know. I'm not a fan of like the throwback. I've never been one to go see, I think we went to see Billy Joel once or whatever. It's just not my thing. I don't need to relive that part. I want to live this part now with the current music now. I enjoy. I'm telling you, like, Dua Lipa's on my mind because that would be one concert I really would like to see. But that's the kind I like, the cool, the dancey music. I don't need the throwback, the blah. And the experience was cool because you could hear the people in the audience singing that were actually at the concert, which was kind of cool. Like, you can hear the audience, but that would have not been me singing. I don't even know if I'd know the words. It's not my kind of concert. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Sorry for anybody who likes U2 and likes those throwback concerts. My apologies. It's just not my thing. It's okay. We all have our things.
Had fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun to do that trip. I still am thinking about the things and how I loved the content that you made, capturing the things of me, which I never would have the opportunity to capture. And now I feel like it's a bummer because I have 2 shoots coming, 3 maybe, but these in a row. And I'm like, oh my God, I want you to be there to capture. I literally think maybe we can make it work that you come to North Carolina for one day, because I need you to film me filming the influencer content on the second day of that shoot. And I'm wondering, maybe you make a day trip down there, because that's kind of valuable to me as a creator to have me behind the scenes doing the things. Yeah. Anyway, that was really good. So thank you so much for capturing it so well. And You're welcome. Me, so you know what to capture. So it's like, I could book another content creator. No, they're not going to get me. Like, you get the funny moments of me eating the candy and the stupid stuff.
At 9:30 in the morning.
It looked like I ate 20 pounds of candy in that video that you made.
Okay, 3 clips of you eating candy spliced together does not equal 20 pounds of candy.
It seemed aggressive.
I did have a few, like, I had one joke idea inspired by our trip, because I think I told you this, because we did a spa day on the last day. We went and we got massages, and then we went in the sauna and we did like the cold plunge and the hot tubs, and it was really nice. But the premise of this joke is that as a family, we used to do sports, and that's how we used to be competitive. But now we don't play sports. So now we're competitive in our wellness.
Okay. That's so true.
Like, Tommy started saunaing. So you started saunaing. So then Dad built a sauna. So then Steven started saunaing. So now it's, how long can you be in the sauna? How hot is the sauna? Now we go out to saunas that are not your saunas. You're like, that's not hot enough. Even Steven's saying it's not hot enough when he uses like a sauna at a hotel. You guys are like competitive about your saunaing. And that's when I realized that like saunaing and cold plunging is just blanching for humans, like vegetable blanching, but for you're cooking yourself and then you're shocking yourself in cold water.
This is so funny. It's true. And you're right, because then I think the competitiveness of Tommy
there's a
getting
competitiveness
the
of
plunge.
the saunaing and the wellness. And it's not just saunaing, it's also like everything else. But like, I hate saunaing. So I'm like, I should go on a rant on why I hate saunaing and why, like, I just,
oh my God.
You guys love it and I don't like it, but I think I like it better when I can cold plunge because then I can reset my body. I just don't like being hot. And I actually am taking like a new medicine that makes me even more sensitive to temperature changes.
Well, so that's
like,
fair enough.
If I'm hot, I'm so uncomfortable. So I think it could be a whole bit about how I don't like saunaing, but I'm competitive. So I'm like putting myself through this torture to be in the same playing field as everybody else, even though I really hate it. And then it's like at the end of the bit, am I like convincing myself that saunaing is good? Because even though I'm trying to be competitive with my saunaing, I end up having benefits from it.
That's so funny. That's a good. Work that in. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like it. And I think it's very relatable because a lot of people now, saunaing is a thing. It's like, it's trending.
It's trending.
It's true. Saunaing is trending. Oh my gosh. I've always liked saunaing. So let's just circling back to when we lived in Secaucus, the people who owned the place before us put a sauna in the closet. So in our when we had the 3-bedroom condo, in Secaucus, we had a sauna, and that was where I that was a Christmas closet. So all the Christmas presents got hidden there.
So you never actually used it?
I used it, but except Christmas time. I had it for like a month before Christmas. I couldn't use the sauna because we were using it to store the Christmas presents.
That's funny.
But I was big into saunaing then, and that was in the 90s.
90s.
When you were little. So I have always enjoyed the sauna. This isn't just me trending now. It just so happens that it came back and it's great. I love it. So I'm a fan.
I do feel like this segues into our topic because Tommy brought us back to the sauna world.
Yes, he did.
And I'll let you introduce the topic for today because it was your idea.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it would be good to do a pre-baby, the thoughts we're having about this new baby coming into our life. And that we could just talk about, because we have no idea. This is what I realized too. You hear other people talking about, oh, you're going to be, it's not like nothing else, telling me like being a grandmother. It's just like when you have a baby, before that, you have no idea. So Tommy and Jenna right now have no idea. And I, even as a grandparent, you as an aunt, we just have no idea what's coming in a weird way. As much as you could say people have said this and people have said that, I thought it would be fun to talk about what are our thoughts about it? How are we feeling about it? What are we predicting about it maybe? And then that way we can look back on this after baby P has landed. And then we could say, oh my God, we were so far off. Like we had no idea. You know what I mean? I thought it would be fun. So hopefully Tommy and Jenna don't mind. And thank you for bearing with this as a topic. But it's not going to be anything about them. It's really going to be more about us, about our thoughts and feelings. So that's why I feel like it's a fair topic. So to kick it off, I just want to say that over this past weekend, we got all the pictures from Tommy and Jenna of the gorgeous nursery. And it's like, wow, it's so real now seeing that pretty pink striped wallpaper, seeing Tommy sitting in that rocker. I told him, take a picture of Jenna in the rocker. She's always taking the photos. It's always Tommy in the photos. And he looked good because he had a pink shirt. He was like themed. He had a pink tank top on. Mm-hmm. But I said, take a picture of Jenna, even if you don't send it, like make sure you have a picture of her in there in the rocker with her, baby bump. But she's amazing. She's had like the most seamless pregnancy ever. It's quite incredible. And it's been amazing to watch them just evolve into like almost parents. So I'm excited about that. Yay.
Wow.
We're ready. And then we in turn are at the beach going nesting. So they were nesting in the city and I wrote back to her and I'm like, I'm nesting in LVI. I'm cleaning out closets. So I started cleaning out the closet in the room that they have because we're going to be now there's like right now a sort of a filing cabinet looks like that's a nightstand. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to move that into the closet because we want to make room for a rocker, a little changing table kind of dresser thing and a crib eventually. So I need to clear things out. And then we were starting to look, we were even on Facebook Marketplace, but I'm like, no, that's not good enough for our baby P. We're going to get something a little more, I don't know, we're going to style it a little nicer. So I'm very pumped for that. So we're working on that. And I don't know. I mean,
what are your thoughts on that? You are going to be a grandma. Are you going to go by grandma? Are you going to go by
that? I don't know.
What is
but
your
I did have
thoughts?
I have so many thoughts. So, first of all, that her mom was a grandma first. So on an up note for me, she already has the title of grandma. So I don't have to worry about, I don't want to be called grandma. I'm not going to be called grandma because her mom is already grandma to her other grandchildren. Mm-hmm. So she can have the title of that. So then I was like, well, I don't even know if I want to be, like some people were saying, be Grammy, be Mimi, be Gigi, be da-da-da-da. And they all feel weird to me. And then I'm like, so I was thinking, I had this combo in my head of like mothership. Then I was like Grandy instead of, and then I was like, maybe Mandy. Now, is that like a weird thing to think like maybe I'll just be Mandy as a grandma? So that just came to my head as a maybe. Otherwise, it's just going to be Helen. And I don't know.
Helly.
Yeah, Helly's good, but if she, depending on her name,
but it could be cute.
We'll see.
Okay.
I liked Helly, but I liked Helly.
Are you having any existential crisis? Not crisis. Are you having any existential, not dread, but are you having any like thoughts that like about getting older, that like you have that you're going to be having a grandchild? Okay. So this is great topic because I was at the gym this morning and then somehow the topic when we were talking in between sets, I was telling the girls there like, my son's having a baby and his wife soon and I'm going to be a grandmother for the first time. And they're like, oh my God, is that why you're working out? So you could be a fit grandma? And I'm like, no, this is just for my life, but I did realize they were like, oh, you're you're a young grandma. And I'm like, and remember when you were worried that I was going to be an old grandma? And I was like, no, I thought you were just going to be an old mom. Sorry. I wasn't even worried about grandma. Right. Yeah. No offense. Right. That's true. But no, I'm not worried about I don't feel that way at all. I feel like it's going to keep me young. And I also had this epiphany the other day with all of my friends' kids. Whenever I would go over there, I would always be gravitating towards the kids. So I can speak from my friend, well, first of all, like Kelly. I mean, of course, Abigail and Alyssa, and they used to play dolls and they used to pretend to be me because I was always like very in tune to them. And then even when my other friend who had kids later, she had a set of twins later in life, when I would go over and we'd get together for the high school gatherings, I was always like hanging out with the little girls and playing with them and and they would always draw me pictures. And like all my other friends were there. But I would connect with them somehow. So I've always been this person that gravitates towards the kids at an event. And one time we had a client over, Dad's client came and his wife, and they brought their daughter. And I was like, me and the daughter were playing dolls. Now, I didn't have to play doll. I wasn't hired as the babysitter, but I was like, oh, I'm going to go get some dolls and we'll do some hair play. I just have always liked it. I mean, I'm in that world of toy commercials all those years. So I'm very in tune to kids. And I always seem to gravitate towards the kids in the room. It's just who I am. So I am very excited for this chapter of getting to play again and getting to like be on the floor and playing the doll and playing the games and setting up the trains. Jonathan wants to set up trains for her. So he's already talking about it. So, oh my God, I had a funny thought about Jonathan. So that part I like. Oh, what did you think about Jonathan? Because Jonathan called us while we were in Vegas and he was hyperfixed. Like every couple of weeks, I feel like he has like a hyperfixation on a new toy or something he wants to buy on Amazon or an old toy that he wants to like buy again because we got rid of it or something in a move. And recently he's been hooked on like his train tracks from back in the day. And he was calling you while we were in Vegas about wanting to order these, not even for his birthday, because I'm sure his birthday list is already figured out, but like for Christmas. So we are 7 months away from this. We're into the next gift giving opportunity for Johnny Boy. And you said something like, oh yeah, like we'll see. You said, oh, maybe baby P would like to play with the trains. And I think a light bulb switched in his brain because after that moment, anytime he called to talk about the trains, he's like, but baby P is going to love the trains. Yes. So I think a switch has turned in his brain where he's realizing, oh, I think I can get these toys if I mention baby P. He is so smart. He is smart. He's smart. And I think he also realizes that a playmate's coming. Yes. I think on some level, that's part of it. Because he was talking about when are we going to be able to take her like to an amusement park? When are we going to be able to like I think he's realizing that, a little friend is coming. Yeah. Because he always gravitates towards the younger kids. And like when Uncle Artie and Aunt Laura started having kids, that was like his prime of like playing with all them from, it's like 5 to 12 is like his sweet spot of kid age.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
So it'll be cute to see.
I'm excited about that. And I don't think it doesn't seem to matter to him that it's a girl because he had you as a little sister. So he doesn't, he's not like, oh, it's not a boy, so it's not going to be fun. Like he thinks you're fun. So he's got a predisposition. Mm-hmm. And so what are you feeling about being an aunt and being a long distance aunt? Let's talk about that a little bit.
I'm very excited to be an aunt. I'm very excited. I will say my one story of like, a couple weeks ago, I don't know if I said this on the podcast already, but a couple weeks ago we went to Ojai, which is like it's basically the Catskills. Okay, this makes it even crazier. It's basically the Catskills of LA, where it's like this mountain town, an hour and a half outside of the city, 2 hours. It's very small. Nobody is in a rush. The coffee shops are just closed on afternoons. Randomly. So we're in this town and for Steven's birthday, and we go into there's cute boutiques and small business. Like there's no brand names anywhere, which is like nice. It's like all cute little boutiques. Cute. And we go into this boutique and they have a little kids section, and I pick up a strawberry onesie, and I am drawn to this strawberry onesie. I'm like, this is the cutest thing ever. Like I want to get this for baby P. Oh my God, it's adorable. And there were other patterns like giraffes and this and that, but I was like, the strawberries are perfect. Right. But I didn't end up getting it because they only had it for like 6 to 12 months. And I was like, at that point, I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, that's going to be winter. It's not really good. Yeah. Exactly. And the only one they had for like newborns was a long sleeve one. And I'm like, well, she's going to be born in the summer. I don't want to get Jenna a long sleeve onesie to have, whatever. I'm also very conscious because sometimes I get gifts and I'm like, why did they get me this? So I'm very conscious of wanting to get people presents that they'll actually use and not just like get rid of. Anyway, strawberry onesie. A couple weeks later, I text Jenna and we're texting about the baby, this and that. And then I ask her, I'm like, are you having any pregnancy cravings? And she says, strawberries.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what in the world? Like strawberries and cereal. And I'm like, what in the world? That I was like, this strawberry onesie needs to be in our lives. And then, so I felt like that was my little moment. But I am very excited to be an aunt. I am obviously like it's bittersweet being a long distance aunt, but I'm hoping to get lots of photos and not be annoying about photos or wanting videos. And
no, I think that the cool thing is because she's an aunt to long distance nieces and nephews herself, that I think she's going to be she's going to be sending them pictures. So we'll probably have like also our own group chat of like being in, like I'm going to pray that we get pictures daily. That'll be so much fun, I'll be like, you cannot overwhelm us. Like we just keep them coming,
Any pictures. But I'm excited. I think I'm just excited. It'll give me, I'm already like someone offered me to do a comedy show in September. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll go back to New York for a comedy show. I'm like, I need the 3-month baby fix. So I feel like it will make me want to come visit more, and hopefully it'd be fun if one day they want to come visit and we can experience West Coast life with
baby P. I just think that part of me, because I don't think we know what's coming, and of course this month of all the months I have a shoot every week. I mean, literally right now, if every one of them locks, it's like Toronto one week, Toronto the next week, Maine the next week. I think there's 1 week off, and then the last week of June, North Carolina. And I'm like, am I going to be gone when this baby's born? Like I'm mildly freaking out and hoping that the one in the middle of the month just goes away or postpones for a whole month, because I don't want to be like, damn, like the baby comes and I'm not here to hopefully run to the hospital, and see. Mm-hmm. But I also don't know, is that protocol? Like, do we go to the hospital? I don't know. When Brandy and Sean had their baby in the city, her parents live in North Carolina. So when they had the baby here, I was literally the first one at the hospital because they had no other family here at the time. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know, Jenna has family here. Her mom's nearby and her sisters, and her sister is. So I'm like, maybe I'm not going right to maybe I'm not even invited. But I also,
oh my God, don't say that.
No. But maybe I don't know. This is my first time being a grandmother. So I don't know and I also know that I'm the father's mother, and I understand that's perfectly, like if you were having a baby, I think it might be different because you're like the girl, like I'm attached to you. We talk every day about everything. You know what I mean? So I think it might, I don't know. I don't want to be,
you don't want to impose and you don't want to be annoying.
I don't want to impose, but I also want to make sure like my non-imposingness does not mean I'm not interested. So hello, I am interested. Like
bother
at any
Helen.
point in time, bother Helen. I will not bother you, Jenna and Tommy, but bother me. Like really. But then I also know her sister's close by, and she's like going to want to have her sister there all the time. Her mom is close by, and they're going to want, I'm sure she's going to want to be there because she's going to have a grandkid now that's in this country. So all the things, like I realize, and I am okay. And I'm also happily busy with my, social media life and my shooting life. So of course it's not like I'm going to be sitting here waiting. Like my parents were literally sitting, waiting for me to call them to come over. Oh, like, there was nothing else going on. They were just like, here's the phone. When is she calling for us to come home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a different reference point, and it's difficult to have that as my reference point because I don't know. I want to make sure, I don't know, that I'm not that, but I also want to be very available.
I know. I never want to bother, but I also want I'm always, I will fly across the country for this baby if they, so
let me just be clear. If you have a puppy, I will fly across the country for you. Just to be clear, like I am committed, and I just like everything about this next chapter that we're going to be going into. I'm just so excited for. I just want to make sure that it's a good relationship. So that's key. And I also can't wait to like get on the floor and play with her when she's a little being.
She's a little munchkin.
And of course, now that I'm back in the toy world a little bit for work, that's fun. So it's like
weird kismet timing that you are gonna.
Isn't it?
It's like weird that it's coming full circle that there's gonna be, because one of my core memories of growing up is you being in the toy industry and always bringing home toys for us, or like,
oh my God,
all the time, or like having the toy that nobody else has because you did the shoot for it months before it came out.
Oh my gosh. Right. It's so
your
weird.
life is coming full circle.
It's full circle in such a good way. And it's nice now because it's so much less like that. The work then was so intense, and now it's like pick and choose and making sure, I can choose the clients that I want to work with. And you got to work with the funny crazies that
we could do a full episode on that, but that might be maybe next week. Anyway,
that was funny. But he was talking to me. He was talking to me today, and I have to just tell you the sidebar. He's like, your daughter. You know, he says it in that New York, way. He's like, your daughter, she's awesome. That's what he kept saying. She looks like a baby. Like he's like, she looks so young, that baby face. I can't believe she's a stand-up comedian. So it was very funny. I know all he was talking about was you today. Wow. And he called me. He gave me a task. I had to do some little voiceover things today. It was so much fun. So I got to do that. But I do love it. So I'm glad I'm enjoying it again. All right. The toy world.
I know it's good timing. I don't want to get, I don't want to get sucked into the tangent, but we should talk about that another episode.
Okay.
One fun thing that I'm excited for about being an aunt that I thought of, and that Jenna and I've kind of like discussed, is like the crafts and the cute clothes, but mainly like once baby P is old enough. For me, I think crafts and like do activities in that sense, because that was such like a big part of like me and still is. And it was funny because one day Jenna and I were talking about Jenna's getting a lot. We love you, Jenna. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry, Jenna.
We should just had Jenna on as a guest.
Yes, we should have. We should be beat red if we were talking about this with her here. She's so cute.
We were talking about how the baby's going to need a logo because it's like very Polise to have like branding. Yes. But we were joking about that. And I was like, yes, I will gladly make any customizable, personalized things for the baby at any point. I was even trying to brainstorm something to make beforehand, but like I haven't thought of anything that has like stricken a chord yet.
I love this. This is such a good thing. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm pumped for it.
Okay. We can wrap up with.
Wait, I had something else I wanted to say and I lost it when you were talking about the logo. I know. I want to not forget to talk about this. You said the most interesting thing when we were traveling about being a kid and playing with dolls. And I want to highlight this for a second because, as you know, when I was a little kid, I dreamed of being a mom from as early as I can remember. I wanted my own baby. I played with baby dolls. It was babies in the backyard. And I used to imagine my own house in the backyard of my house having my own babies, okay? When I was like 3, early memory. And you said something really interesting recently.
Yes, because
would you like to share? Because I was amazed by.
Because Steven has cousins, and his cousins are also expecting another baby later this fall, and it's a girl, a boy, and a boy. I'll shout out Sarah if she's listening to the pod. Okay. But they have the cutest kids, and we see pictures of them every single day. Steven and I like sit on the couch and look at them every single day together. And because they're expecting third child, there's like these adorable pictures of the daughter like nursing a baby doll and like pushing around her baby dolls and like literally taking care of these baby dolls.
The baby
and, like,
is taking care of the baby doll like a mother.
Like those, anytime she's with
that
a toy, it's a baby
except
doll.
for the breastfeeding.
So I asked you recently, I'm like, I have no memory of being a baby doll person. I have no pictures of me really being a baby doll person. Just like I remember playing with American Girl dolls and Barbie, like adult dolls.
Yep.
And so I asked you, I was like, was I a baby doll person? And to which you responded,
no, you were not a baby doll person. And if you ever were, you were holding it by its one arm and dragging it. So you weren't even, it was like you were a stuffed animal girl. And
I know, I'm an animal person.
You were an animal person. You were a baby animal person. You were like, it was fluffy. It was lavender. It was always animals. Mm-hmm. And you're now currently obsessed with getting a dog, which is part of this whole thing for you. Because I said, well, do you imagine ever, like, I didn't want to get into that, but do you imagine like being a mom one day? Like, does that even come into your mind? Because I was thinking about it since I was, younger to even then I could even imagine.
I more so imagine having a dog.
Right. You imagine having a dog. So interesting.
Or like having
I said,
animals.
I will fly across and I will fly across the country and watch your dog for you. So we're good.
Thank you.
Or you can bring the dog over here, whatever you want to do.
I know.
We got to get that dog traveling, just like we're going to get the baby P traveling. It's going to be so much fun. I want to this is some of the things I think about now is like, how often am I going to I'm sure I'm going to want to see this baby often, but how often am I realistically going to see the baby? And I don't want to be annoying. So it's like, because I only have a reference point of my friends.
The takeaway point of this episode is that we don't want to be annoying.
That's the takeaway. It's also, I don't want to be, because I can remember this very specifically of like the keeping track of time. So every time I would talk to my mother, we haven't seen Tommy in five hours, or we haven't seen him in 24 minutes and 72 days, whatever. So I am not going to be a scorekeeper. Just going to say that up front. It's just, I don't want that
it's
kind
about
of thing.
Quality, not quantity in terms of spending time.
Yeah. And it's also, I don't care. Like right now I can honestly say I don't care how often it is, but I know my friends are like, I want to get over there every single minute I can. I'm like, maybe I'll be that person that wants to get there every single minute I can. But I also, again, theme of the episode, don't want to be annoying.
That should be the title. We don't want to be annoying.
But also, whenever you need me, just give me a call. But I just think there's also like everybody's in line for this, because there's a lot of people that are going to be available and want to do it and all that. So I don't know what's coming, but I am very excited for it.
All I know is that we don't want to be annoying, but Tommy and Jenna have the biggest village of people ready to support them in this next chapter. And that is also like the very beautiful thing about watching this unfold, even from afar.
Oh my
God.
So
we love you.
We love you so much. And we're so, so excited for this next phase of our life. So on that note, we can wrap it out and not get teary. So yours truly,
Helen and Julie.
Yay. So excited. Thanks for listening today. One of friends of mine who listens to the podcast wrote a beautiful message to me in a DM saying like, even the small things we talk about are so important. So we thank you for listening and being on the journey with us. And pretty soon, new chapter.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be together next week, so there'll be more content.
Okay, more content. Thank you. You're in charge.
Got it. Bye. Alrighty. Bye.